guys, welcome back to another episode of Voting Bushcraft. So this video is going to be a follow-up to a video I did a few months ago, which was on wild edibles. It's springtime now, so there's a whole lot of new growth, and with that you get a whole lot of new different plant species and fruits and all sorts of things that you might find around the area. So I'm going to show you some of the most common ones, so stay tuned, we'll get to it. So not quite so hidden on this tree here is a plant species called Hounds Tongue. Now this grows pretty much all over the time, but in springtime you can get a whole lot of the new growth, and that's the best parts to pick. To identify Hounds Tongue, you look for these long green stemmed veins and these long stemmed leaves. Now it gets its name from, obviously, from the tongue shaped leaf. Now they can come in different species. You can get some of them with these little dots on them. I prefer to try to get the ones without them. They just taste a little bit nicer, but it's best to pick the small young leaves, and you'll find them growing on pretty much anywhere in New Zealand, off the trees and things. So you can go ahead and pick those, and they'll give you a little bit of a snack. Right, so I've picked myself some Hounds Tongue. So it's best to always give everything a wash, because you just don't know if there's going to be any bugs or anything on it. Another summer and spring local is the onion weed. So this is the onion weed. It'll grow wild pretty much anywhere in New Zealand, but you'll notice it from these white flowers and that distinctive garlicky onion smell. So pretty much everything in this is edible. You can eat the stems, but it's best to sort of like pickle them and put them in food, because they do have that sort of garlicky onion flavour. So I'm going to go ahead and pick some of this and chuck it in my pouch. Okay, so here's another example of some bush tucker. So this is Kio Kio, and it's best to pick this stuff when it's really young and soft, because once it matures it goes quite hard. So you want these new fresh leaves, and you can actually eat those. Add them to a salad. So you can generally find Kio Kio on bank heads, and it is best to get the brand new one. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck some of this into the pouch, and we'll move on, So hidden in amongst all this grass and stuff here is what's called the Buttercup. If you put it under your chin, you used to be able to tell if you like butter or not. Every part of this plant is poisonous, so it's a good one to learn and stay away from, because it is hidden amongst most of the foraging food that you'll look for. But the only here is something that you can eat, and that is clover. So you can actually eat this. So I've found 2 bits of clover. So put those in the foraging pouch. If you've been in nature as long as I have, you would have come across these viney things, and they would have annoyed you because you would have got stuck in them, or you would have got trapped or not been able to find your way out. But what you didn't know is that you can actually eat this, and this is called Supple Jack. So this is the Supple Jack vine. I'll put its Latin name up, but if you look for the end of the tuber, and then you'll find these asparagus vein looking things. So this is the part that you want to take off, and you can actually eat that. So I'm going to take this off until pretty much it gets a bit hard. That's what she said. And I'm going to put this into a pouch. So here's a couple of plants that we covered last time. This is Bushmans Friend. Okay, so you can tell that by the white and the soft. Can't eat it. You can use it as toilet paper. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking at the Kawakawa again. So during the winter time, it doesn't flower, okay, so there's no fruit or anything, but during the summertime and the springtime, it does start flowering. In the springtime, the Kawakawa creates these little fruit pods, and so they turn out green and then they go orange, and you can actually eat those. So they're not quite ripe, but will come back in summer and they should be alright. So here's another example of the fruit pods. So they'll turn orange, but yeah, look out for those. You can actually eat the leaves again, eat the ones with all the holes in them, they're the best ones. Okay, so there's no fruit on there at the moment, but if we come back in the summertime, hopefully that fruit will be in stock, and we can give it a try then. So here's a good example of the narrow leaf plantain. So here's the seed pods of the plantain. So you can eat those, but this is what we're looking for. So like I say, you can find it with these narrow leaves, and plantain is completely edible. You can eat the flower heads, you can eat the leaves, but it's best to eat them when they're young, so they're a little bit more softer. So there's two versions of the plantain, there's the narrow leaf and the broad leaf. So I'm just going to pick some of these little ones. Some brand spanking new growth, and we'll give it a wash and we'll give it a try. Right, so I've got a good collection of wild edibles in my pouch here. So I've got everything from wild plantain to wild garlic to piko. So all of this stuff is completely edible and abundantly found in the bush and in nature. And so if you want to see a follow-up video on me eating these things, make sure that you give me a like and a comment, and tell me how much you liked this video or how much you hated it, or your mum. Make sure that you ring the bell icon so you get up-to-date messages on when I post new videos. And also just remember, when you are foraging for wild foods and wild edibles, that you know what you're looking for. Use the Aotearoa Species app, and that will help you identify all those edibles that I found today. Always wash your hands, and don't contaminate all your food with stuff that you might think is poisonous. See you in the next one, eh?